Good evening, America. You are listening to the Remember the Fallen show with your host, Sergeant Dave. After having survived a rollover accident avoiding a landmine in a troop transport vehicle, military acronym LMTV, in the Parwan province in Afghanistan in 2004, I emerged and returned to the United States with an even more compelling tale of perseverance as I navigate the rapids of the troubled water VA system. I gain new perspective with a fever of enthusiasm to all patriots across the windswept fields of America. All right, here we are live at the Remember the Fallen YouTube studio in beautiful Seminole County, USA, on the Winter Springs Oviedo line, where we will be talking about jarheads, Marines, devil dogs we call them as well, squids, Navy, penguins. Well, we call them penguins, the Air Force, because only 2% of the Air Force actually fly the jets, so 98% of them don't, okay? And also Army, ground pounders like myself, and an occasional Coast Guard. Maybe not. You see, one of us can be disregarded, two of us can be ran off, but a podcast show, we are a movement. All right, we're going to go back into a series that we did, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, was on the early stages of mental health issues, how it can be easy as controlling your thoughts. Better to control your thoughts. We're aware of them to suffer than the consequences of not controlling your thoughts. So this is going to be a part 2 series that I'm working on, and I got all this information lately on reading a lot now. I'm starting to read a lot. And the Epoch Times, EPOCH Times, is just helping me a lot to address some situations that a lot of us veterans have. And I'm just a springboard, an advocate, to see if I can assist one veteran in the audience tonight, but not just that one veteran, the veteran that can share it with another veteran in the audience tonight to help keep another death of suicide from a veteran tomorrow. This is what it's all about, saving other veterans. All right, so we're going to basically talk about the coping. This is that Think Well, Work Well episode that's been going on at Epoch Times as well. So we're going to talk about coping strategies for when bad things happen. Challenges can lead us toward meaningful thought and action if we know how to cope with them, right? If you can't control a difficult situation, well, how do you cope with it? Coping involves applying your mental and emotional energy to manage the strain associated with challenges. Psychologists have identified 3 coping strategies people commonly rely on. But before we get to those, consider the order in which humans normally make things happen. Number 1, we self-motivate thought, thinking, in an attempt to achieve our best performance. Number 2, this thought creates the emotional energy we need to move ahead and stay the course. Number 3, we take action in response to how we made ourselves feel and repeat steps 1 and 2 as necessary. Problems arise when we get out of order, when you act without thinking first or allow the wrong emotions to get in your way. In either case, you'll later regret not thinking the first to create the most appropriate emotion to help you. And that emotion needn't be a potent passion. A calm and clear heart can be most powerful starting point for any meaningful action. So now to the 3 ways of coping. Meaning, focus coping is the number 1 here, and the most important one. Meaning focused coping. This is the most reliable strategy. It's based on the premise that thoughts, not circumstances, create emotions. Whatever happens to you is meaningless until you see it as a sign and meaning, and you need to react to it. Scientists believe you may never need the second or third strategy if you make the best use of your thoughts. Once again, meaning, focused coping. You cope by thinking first to assign better meanings to your circumstances. The purpose of this is to intentionally create emotional ease or self-empowering emotion to help you cope well. In many cultures, this means broadening your mind to consider the wider implications of an event or to align your thoughts about it with deeper values, like kindness and faith. Psychologist Abraham Maslow referred to this as meta-motivating to self-transcend your circumstances. You rise above your circumstances. Bullet point 1. Recognize what's most important and then assign a better meaning to the situation. Avoid being judgmental. Thinking in a non-negative manner. Look for the agreeable middle ground between what is and what's ideal. People who use this strategy might appear from the outside as if they're aloof or unaffected by challenges, but on the inside, they're caring for themselves by relying on the emotions of joy, optimism, enthusiasm, gratitude, confidence, and contentment. We admire these people for their calm resilience. Let's look at the second one. The second one is emotion-focused coping. People who rely on this strategy first typically have no knowledge of meaning-focused coping, the first one we just discussed. It involves changing or ignoring how you feel when a difficult situation occurs. It's like numbing yourself to the evolving world around you. When this strategy was popular, people wrongly assumed their unwanted emotions were caused by their circumstances. This led to largely ineffective approaches like denial, ignoring the situation, or avoiding reality, procrastination, distraction, TV, drugs, alcohol, and wishful thinking. After coping in this manner, some slowly find the will to accept their situation and start dealing with it. But by the time this happens, the problem may have worsened. It could have a domino effect. So this is not an ideal way of coping, but it works temporarily when nothing else might. People who cope in this manner are comfortable with ignoring or minimizing the seriousness of their problems. They may appear beat or hopeless and don't realize their actions are being unintentionally motivated by fear, worry, envy, doubt, and anger. We sometimes feel sorry for these people. All right, the third one is problem-focused coping. Similar to the previous strategy, this one is based on the false idea that your circumstances cause emotions. Coping involves taking action first to resolve the problem before an unwanted emotion occurs. This strategy can potentially work, but if you can't resolve the problem, you become discouraged and give up too soon. You lack the motivation to persevere because you didn't first things in order to create the most appropriate emotion to help you. This approach is also about actions and usually involve something similarly rationally steps. Okay, here's some bullet points on that. Plan how you will address the situation. Problem solve is to identify the best approach and seek help from others who have experience in dealing with your situation. That's why veterans are best helping veterans. So that's why I ask you in the audience, if you know a veteran who is suffering, who's showing signs, giving up his belongings, not taking care of himself, not grooming, doesn't care what he says, starts over self-medicating. So this is where you guys need to step in, okay? So you want to assert your opinions about what you would rather see in this situation, establish boundaries so the same situation does not occur again. When you take action first, you may end up with the wrong solution, solving the wrong problem, or wasting your emotional energy on what you might later realize was not a serious situation. People who cope in this manner have good intentions and are more optimistic in their problem-solving abilities than they should be. So when things don't go their way, they become impatient and frustrated. We might cheer these people on for their enthusiasm in the face of adversities. Hands down, the most efficient coping strategy is the first one, is meaning focused. Think first to energize your motivation to cope using the most helpful emotions. Not only does this improve how well you feel, but it also enhances your problem-solving abilities. The meanings we assign create what we think is real, and that's how we can avoid depression, by first changing how we think. That's as simple as that. We think positive. We get up in the morning. We might have a certain cadence we sing. We stay motivated. We might have a cup of coffee looking out into a beautiful landscape. It might be just, daydreaming out there enjoying the sunrise like I do every morning, and I enjoy my sunset. Just about every day I rush home to watch my sunset. It just gives me faith that there is a creator when I see these beautiful sunsets. So maybe that's something that you could start as a habit. Maybe there's a certain pond or a lake at the end of your day you can check out. But I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I am going to go on to the VA crisis line. So I am going to do something a little bit different, probably the no podcast has done before, is to go reach into a realm of situation where some of our battle buddies are going through, okay? A lot of them are probably not getting these types of strategies put together. So this is why this show is going to be imperative to the ones that are going to help other veterans, not just taking in for yourself, but also this can help just about anyone out there who's not a veteran. You don't have to be a veteran to take this type of advice. This podcast is dedicated to our veterans in crisis, but also our first responders. Just to let you know, our 10th New York police officer died of suicide just recently this year. 10. That's like amazing. The situation just arises when there's so much stress and they feel they have, a target on their back. And police lives matter. They really do. Anytime you get a situation when an officer gets their weapon taken away, this is what happened just recently to an officer, and his weapon was taken away, and he just felt his job was down, and everybody was going to be talking about at work. He got to self-medicating. He was drinking a lot, and he ended up taking his own life just recently. You can read up on that, Google that, and also let's look out for our border agents too. They're under a lot of stress as well. So let's keep an eye and pray for our veterans, our first responders, and our border agents out there. So this show is dedicated to that. So I'm at the Veterans Crisis Line right now, and that phone number is 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. So I'm just going to explain to you about this. Confidential support is a click away. So if you're a veteran in crisis, okay, or service member in crisis, or you're concerned about one, there are caring, qualified VA responders standing by to help 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, so this crisis chat is a free, anonymous, confidential resource that's available to any service member, including members of the National Guard and Reserve, and any veteran. And even if you're not registered with the VA or enrolled in a VA healthcare, you can still use the system. Whatever's got you down, chronic pain, anxiety, depression, sleeplessness, anger, or ever disturbing memories of your tour of duty, a specially trained responder can provide support day or night. In the likely event that you are disconnected from our crisis chat, please click the button below, and you'll see this as you go on the veteranCrisisLine.net/get-help/chat. So what to expect? What do you expect when you do something like this? We're going to go live with it right now, very shortly. So what to expect? A responder will answer and ask you a few questions. This responder will work with you to help you through any personal crisis. Even if that crisis does not involve thoughts of suicide, you can decide how much you want to share. Once again, I'm going to go to the Take a Self-Check quiz. We're going to podcast live on this one, so you're going to hear this quiz that anyone can take that's in the service on this Take a Self-Check quiz. Okay, it talks about crisis, stress, depression, and other issues affect people in different ways. If you feel like you might be heading toward a crisis, treatment can help. Take a confidential, anonymous risk assessment to see how you might benefit from VA or community-based services. All right, I'm going to click this Take the Quiz button right now. Clicking it. So I'm in the system as taking the self-help check quiz. Okay, welcome to the Veteran Self-Check Quiz. There are 3 easy steps. You can fill out a brief self-check quiz, which takes about 10 minutes. Or you can do a VA chat responder. We'll review it and leave a personal response for you on this secure website, usually within 10 or 15 minutes. That's great response. We like that. Hoorah for our VA veterans responders on this. And if the volume is especially high, it may take up to 30 minutes. Responders note will offer options for follow-up if it's felt that could be helpful. You decide what's next. You may enter the online veterans chat and continue talking with the responder without identifying yourself. You may want to get a referral to see someone in person, or you can decide to do nothing further at this time. It's all up to you. No follow-up services will be provided unless you request them. That's good. That's good to know for some of you out there that want to be anonymous. Okay, so we're going to hit the button, Take Self-Check Quiz right now. One other button. They had it, okay? First starts off, confirm the following. Are you 18 years or older? Check. And in taking the self-check quiz, I will be answering the questions about someone else, because I know someone who's going through some challenges right now. So I'm going to take the self-check quiz for someone else right now at this time. So we're going to start off. So during the last 4 weeks, how often has the person you're concerned about been bothered by any of the following? Feeling nervous or worrying a lot? I'm going to say some of the time. Becoming easily annoyed or irritable? Once again, I'm going to hit some of the time. Feeling your life is too stressful? Not much. So once again, some of the time. And having arguments or fights? Not at all. That person's not like that. Feeling intensely anxious or having anxiety attacks? I'm going to say some of the time. Feeling intensely lonely? Yep, I can see that some of the time. And feeling intensely angry? Not at all. This person's not like that. And feeling hopeless? Some of the time. Also feeling desperate? Some of the time. And feeling out of control? Not at all. This person's not in that way. It's just going through a crisis. So the next question is going to be, during the last 4 weeks, has this person shown signs of any of the following? Drinking alcohol, including beer or wine, more than usual. A lot of the time. Yep. Feeling like they were drinking too much. Yep, some of the time. Have their work attendance or performance affected by their drinking? I think it's always going to be there some of the time. Other drugs other than alcohol, or taking prescription medicines without medical supervision? Not at all. This person's not like that. So I'm going to go next question. During the last 4 weeks, has this person experienced any of the following in relation to eating? Not being able to control what or how much they eat. Hey, some of the time. Feeling overly concerned about staying thin or losing weight? Some of the time. Making themselves vomit after eating? Not at all. That's not. Has this person experienced any of the following problems and complaints veterans sometimes have as a response to stressful military experience? Repeating disturbing memories, thoughts, or images of the stressful experience? A little bit, yeah. Having physical reactions like heart pounding, trouble breathing, sweating when something reminded them of stressful experiences? Yep, a little bit. Avoid activities or situations because they reminded them of the stressful experience? Not at all. This person's not like that. And difficulty concentrating? Yep, a little bit. We can say that. So these are some of the self-check questions that you take when you take the self-check quiz. Okay? Now, this is down the last 2 weeks. How often has this person been bothered by any of the following problems? Feeling tired or having little energy? Nope, not at all. They're on a diet, so they said they have a lot more energy. Having trouble falling or staying asleep or sleeping too much? I think we all go through that, so some of the time. Having a poor appetite or overeating? Some of the time. Having trouble concentrating on things such as reading the newspaper or watching television? Not at all. This person's pretty adept to that. And then there's the next one is feeling bad about himself or that they are a failure or have let themselves or their family down. I think, yeah, I can see that being some of the time. Moving or speaking so slowly that other people could have noticed, or the opposite, being so restless that they have been moving around a lot more than usual. I haven't noticed anything like that, so I'm going to say not at all. Feeling a lack of interest or in pleasure in doing things. No, this person's kind of out and about, so I'm going to say not at all. Feeling down or depressed some of the time. Okay, I've noticed that on certain days. Having thoughts that they would be better off dead or thoughts of physically harming themselves. No, this hasn't been the situation. I'm going to say not at all. In the last 2 weeks, had thoughts about taking their own life. Not at all. Planned ways of taking their own life. Not at all. Done things to hurt themselves. Not at all. So I'm not a high priority for this self-check quiz. So I don't see them getting back to me because I answered those. Have they ever made an attempt to suicide? No. So obviously if I said yes, they'd probably be reaching out to me right away. Have they ever been knocked out or unconscious following an accident injury? Yes, they did. I remember that. He told me about that. An IED told me he was far enough away, but he was affected. How difficult have these problems made it for this person to work, take care of things at home, or get along with other people? I want to say somewhat difficult. His job's a little kind of isolated, so he's not with a lot of other people. So I'm going to say somewhat difficult. Take any medication for anxiety? Yes. Medication for depression? No. Medication for stress? No. For sleep? Medication for sleep? Yes. For pain? Yes. Getting counseling or therapy? No. That's the problem. Us veterans are not getting counseling or therapy. And the same with the New York police officers. They're not asking for help as well because they're so proud. They feel that they failed themselves and their families, so they're not going to get help. And that's the wrong answer. You need to get help, people, okay? So I know he hasn't got any help, but he doesn't think he needs it. All right, now it's asking me to take a minute to let us know about anything that might be contributing to how this person is feeling at this time. Death of a loved one, relationship breakup, loss of a job, unemployment, money problem, losing their home, or anything else that might help us to better understand the system. Yep, he got a divorce, and he hasn't got over it recently and had to sell his home, his pride and joy, his home, because that was part of the divorce. I'm just typing his answers in. Take a little bit longer. Oh, here's an important question, huh? Is he male or female? Wow. Okay. He's a male. Person's age. I'm going to say 48. I don't know exact age. Us guys are not into age. We don't ask, how old are you? When's your birthday? You know, we're not like that. Is this person a veteran? Yes, he is a veteran. Does this person deploy to a combat zone? Yes, he did. Quite a few times. 4 deployments. Is there anything else they need to know? I think they got enough information. So I took the quiz. I'm taking the next one. Thank you for answering the self-check quiz. To submit, please click below. So I'm going to submit that. And probably they're going to reach out to me. Yep. Has been submitted. I have a reference code they gave me. I can print this page and write down the website address and your reference code. They have a reference code for me. And you can basically stay in touch with the vetselfcheck.org, an organization. Write that one down for any friends that might need any assistance with that. And that was it. Thank you for using this self-check service. We hope you find it helpful. I think it's pretty helpful. Just getting out there, reaching out. Counselors that are ready to help you, assist you in any way. So now I'm going to go a little bit further and research about the Veterans Crisis Line. And I'm going to tip on what it is. And they're going to give me an answer. It's a source of support. Yep. The Veterans Crisis Line is a free, confidential resource that's available to anyone, even if you're not registered with the VA or enrolled in VA healthcare. Once again, the caring, qualified responders at the Veterans Crisis Line are specially trained and experienced in helping veterans of all ages and circumstances. They're showing a view here that received over 3.9 million calls. That's amazing. Since it's launched in 2007, the Veterans Crisis Line has answered more than 3.9 million calls and initiated this dispatch of emergency services to callers in crisis more than 119,000 times. Hey guys, it's working. The Veterans Crisis Line anonymous online chat service added in 2009 has engaged in nearly 460,000 chats In November 2011, the Veterans Crisis Line introduced a text messaging service to provide another way for veterans to connect with confidential round-the-clock support, and since then has responded to nearly 120,000 texts. That is awesome. Behind the Scenes provides a look. Now we're going to go on to a video, and I'm going to go ahead and set up my microphone closer to the video so we can get the best volume out of this for my type of microphone I have, and I hope it's going to be loud enough, folks. So wish me well on this one, okay? I don't know how it's going to come out.
You work with me, okay?
You know, given what you're describing to me, maybe it is time to worry the kids, or for you to find a way to get him motivated.
But is your boyfriend having any suicidal thoughts?
Okay, how long has it been going on, my friend?
And what kind of assistance are you looking for? The Veterans Crisis Line started in 2007 with 14 responders and 4 lines. Since that time, we've grown to over 500 responders across 3 call center locations. We've also added services such as chat and text and international services for active duty and veterans as well.
Yes, sir.
What got me to this particular job is I came to the VA and applied for their homeless program. I've been where a lot of these guys are, and I didn't have a number to call at the time. I mean, you're just kind of out there on your own. But now there is a number that somebody can call to say, I need help. What do I do?
Now, is there anybody with you? You're just by yourself, right? I mean, I just wanted you to make sure you can breathe okay. All right, and I'm going to stay on the phone to you so somebody arrives so we can get you the help and the service.
Veterans experience crisis in a number of ways and across a range of possibilities. We have trained responders ready to talk to veterans and service members, friends, and family to walk them through the situation and to connect them to resources to help them and assist them. He had passed out. Now, do you think that he needs emergency services? You also may want to consider talking with your children about the level of your concerns, because you need support too.
We initially take the call, we assess for safety, we offer support, we get them moving in the right direction, and then from there, if we want to make sure that if they choose, that they have the ability to follow up with care locally where they're at.
Veterans sometimes don't have a lot of support, that they need to talk to someone, whether in a crisis at the moment or they're just feeling lonely. So we just there for them. I know what you're saying.
He lives in Jackson.
Right. And I'm glad you have the courage to call us, but it's not easy for a veteran to sit up and call for help. We're very stubborn. I'm also a veteran, so I can understand your concerns, but we're here for you, my friend. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye. I felt bad for the guy. He's homeless.
When we do have a disturbing call or something that bothers us, I know that those coworkers I can always connect with in order to talk out the call to see if there's anything more I could do.
The few core people that I really, have in my support group here, needs to be focused on what's important in life and really the benefit to serve America's veterans and their family members.
We got into this field because we want to help people, and we care. This is not just a job, it's who we are, it's what we want to do.
How amazing is it that you can hear a person smile? You know when you hit that baseball and you get that crack, that good feeling? It's like that when you're able to hear a person smile and you make a difference.
The Veterans Crisis Line is a resource that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the year. We have over 500 responders eager to answer the call. You served, and we are here to serve you.
Thank you for calling the Veterans Crisis Line. This is Jennifer. How can I help you?
I'm Sergeant Dave. I'm a veteran. I have been deployed. I have had an accident. I've lost my hearing, got knocked out. So it hit home, just answering some of those questions. And I hope you can share this with another veteran. And once again, the Veterans Crisis Line is 1-800-273-8255. Press 1. And go ahead. We need more veterans out there taking these self-check quizzes. I recently did a survey with one of the groups I'm with, Team Red, White, and Blue, a veteran survey on how to stay healthy. I know we get beaten over the head, all these surveys everywhere you go. But if you're a veteran out there, if you can help other veterans by taking certain survey veterans, that's going to help your brother in arms and your sister in arms, okay? It will help the future of our military as well. All right, it's that time to take care of our sponsors. So all you fit veterans in the audience, get down and give me 22 everyday push-ups for the sad number of 22 that a veteran will die of suicide tomorrow. But hopefully 21. We saved someone tonight with this podcast.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. 30% of Americans who are planning home improvements of $5,000 or more will pay for those renovations with a high-interest credit card. That may not be a great idea. A better idea may be to take cash out of your home with a Quicken Loans 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.08%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate subject to change. Pay 1.25% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Alright, sorry, saw somebody pop into the chat.
Part of Orlando, Palm Beach Atlantic University's Orlando campus provides working professionals the opportunity to complete their degree in just 1 or 2 nights per week. Tap now or visit explore.pba.edu to learn more about PBA in Orlando today.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Spring will be here soon, so if buying a new home is on your to-do list, right now is the time to call Quicken Loans. Learn about which mortgage options make sense for you and get a jump on your competition. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For JD Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hi, welcome to the Subway ad for the new Sesame Ginger Glazed Chicken Signature Wrap. How would you like it? I'll take a sports announcer at home. Yeah? How'd you? We just know.
My wife picks up the new signature wrap. It's got double the rotisserie-style chicken mixed with a sesame ginger glaze. She appears annoyed at me, but she shrugs it off. Those sweet and savory flavors are calling her name. She lifts the wrap and she takes the bite. Incredible! And now she's closing the door on my... Subway, make it what you want.
Limited time only at participating restaurants. Double meat basement, average 6-inch sub.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, not like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pull me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council. KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
All right, I'm ready to go into rack ops mode. So before I relax, I need to give one last promo. Go to Sergeant Dave Matthews at gmail.com. That is SGTDAVEMATTHEWS at gmail.com for the next show's content. All right, if you know someone who'd like to be on the show, reach out to me. I need some input, okay, folks? And you can also go to my Facebook page, Remember the Fallen, all one word, Remember the Fallen. And you can go to my Twitter handle at Heroic Memorials. And you go to my website, www.neverforgottenmemorials.org. And you can donate or you can volunteer with your time. You'll see on that site, you'll be able to leave a message. So go ahead and do that. And once again, until all the troops come home, God bless America.